Hello, welcome to my online blog, and today we'll be looking into a collection of stories by Yitzchak Beshevis Singer called When Shlomo Went to Warsaw and Other Stories. And the story for today is The Elders of Chelem and Genendel's Key. It was known that the village of Chelem was ruled by the head of the community council and the 6 elders, all fools. The name of the head was Gronam the ox. The elders were Dopey Lekish, Zenvil Nini, Treadle the fool, Center donkey, Schmendrick Numbskull, and Favel Thickwit. Gronam the ox was the oldest. He had a curly white beard and a high, bulging forehead. Since Gronam had a large house, the elders usually met there. Every now and then, Gronam's wife, Genendel, brought them refreshments, tea, cakes, and jam. Gronam would have been a happy man, except for the fact that each time the elders left, Genendel would reproach him for speaking nonsense. In her opinion, her highly respected husband was a simpleton. Once, after such a quarrel, Gronam said to his wife, "What is the sense of nagging me after the elders have gone? In the future, whenever you hear me saying something silly, come into the room and let me know, and I will immediately change the subject." "How can I tell you're talking nonsense in front of the elders? If they learn you're a fool, you lose your job as the head of the council." "If you're so clever, find a way," Gronam replied. Genendel thought a moment and suddenly exclaimed, "I have it. Well, when you say something silly, I will come in and hand you the key to your strongbox. Then you'll know you've been talking like a fool." Gronam was so delighted with his wife's idea that he clapped his hands. "Near me, you are too clever. You've become too clever." A few days later, the elders met in Gronam's house. The subject under discussion was the coming Pentecost, a holiday when a lot of sour cream is needed to eat with blinches. That year, there was a scarcity of sour cream. It had been a dry spring and the cows gave little milk. The elders pulled at their beards and rubbed their foreheads, signs that their brains were hard at work, but none of them could figure out how to get enough sour cream for their holiday. Suddenly, Gronam pounded on the table with his fists and called out, "I have it." "What is it?" "Let us make a law that water is to be called sour cream, and sour cream is to be called water. Since there is plenty of water in the wells of Chelem, each housewife will have a full barrel of sour cream." "What a wonderful idea!" cried Sender Donkey. "A stroke of genius!" shrieked Zenvel Nini. "Only Gronam and the ox could think of something so brilliant," Dopey Lakish proclaimed. Treadle the fool, Schmendrick Numbskull, and Favel Thickwit all agreed. Favel Thickwit, the community scribe, took out pen and parchment and set down the new law. From that day on, water was to be called sour cream, and sour cream, water. As usual, when they had finished with their community business, the elders turned to a more general subject. Gronam said, "Last night I couldn't sleep a wink for thinking about why is it so hot in summertime. Finally the answer came to me." "What is it?" the elders chorused. "Because all winter long the stoves are heated, and this heat stays in Chelem and makes summer hot." All the elders nodded their head, excepting the Dopey Lakish, who asked, "Then why is it cold in the winter?" "It's clear why," replied Gronam. "The stoves are not heated in the summer, so there's no heat left over for the winter." The elders were enthusiastic about Gronam's great knowledge. After such mental effort, they began to look towards the kitchen, expecting Grendel to appear with tea, cakes, and jam. Genendel did not come in, but instead of a tray, she carried a key, which she gave to her husband, saying, "Gronam, here is the key to the strongbox." Gronam did come in, but instead of a tray, she carried this key. Today of all days, Gronam was confident that his mouth had uttered only clever words. But there stood Genendel with the key in her hand, a sure sign that he had spoken like a fool. He grew so angry that he turned to the elders and said, "Tell me, what foolishness have I spoken that my wife brings me the key to the strongbox?" The elders were perplexed at this question, and Gronam explained his agreement with Genendel, that she should give him the key when he talked like an idiot. "But today, didn't I speak words of high wisdom? You be the judges." The elders were furious with Genendel. Fable the Thickwit spoke out, "We are the elders of Chelim, and we understand everything. No woman can tell us what is wise and what is silly." Then they discussed the matter and made a new law. Whenever Genendel believed that her husband was talking like a fool, she was to come in and give the key to the elders. If they agreed, they would tell Genonom the ox to change the subject. If they did not agree, she was to bring out a double portion of tea cakes and jam and 3 blinches for every sage. Fable Thickwit immediately recorded the new law in parchment and stamped it with the seal of Chelim, which was an ox with 6 horns. From that day on, Quinam would talk freely at the meetings, since Genendel was very stingy. She did not want the elders of Chelim to gorge themselves with her beloved blinches. That Pentecost, there was no lack of sour cream in Chelim, but some housewives complained that there was a lack of water. But this was an entirely new problem to be solved after the holiday. Guinam the ox became famous all over the world as the sage who, by passing a law, gave Chelim a whole river and many wells full of sour cream. Thank you for listening. Peace, light, love.